So very good evening to all of you. I hope you're all doing great. I'm looking at certain notes also. You're revising culture or is it something else? Culture, static portion. Okay, fine. So you all went through the slides, the handouts. Did you find any problem in that? Do you have any questions in the topics which we have done so far? No? Have you started revising culture along with the class? Yes. Are you feeling somewhat comfortable in the subject now? Anna? Okay, good. Okay, so today we will be doing the remaining topics. So we'll start with the remaining personalities. We've done till Adi Shankaracharya and Ramajacharya, his philosophy. We'll start with Sant Tukaram. Secondly, there is a specific topic in your content given, Buddhism and Jainism, right? Now, if I'll start doing Buddhism and Jainism according to the content given, I think it would take one class. And also, looking into the relevance of Buddhism and Jainism from prelims perspective, I feel that it will be, wrong thing to do that we are not giving at least to this topic about 1.5 to 2 hours, thinking that there are questions, right? So what we'll do is, we'll do all the remaining topics except Buddhism and Jainism. So if someone feels that he or she needs certain kind of extra class to understand Buddhism and Jainism, they can come to the class which will be meant for Buddhism and Jainism after, every section is completed, right? I would suggest those who will be coming for the class, they should have read something about Buddhism and Jainism, right? Okay, so let's start with the topics. Now, in today's class, mostly we have, topics which are more, tilting towards modern Indian history, which are more tilting towards your current affairs, right? Polity and governance aspect. So we will do all these topics vis-a-vis how, different sections are being covered in those topics, right? So let's start with the first topic. Sant Tukaram. So basically this topic or this personality pertains to your Bhakti movement in India. Now Bhakti movement or Bhakti saints, Sufi movement, they are all very important topics from prelims and mains perspective both, right? So first, as I always start with a framework as to how you need to approach this topic. So this is what you will be doing from prelims perspective basically whenever you are doing any Bhakti saint or personality. Right? So starting from the origin of Bhakti movement. So Bhakti movement originated in 7th to 8th century from south, particularly Tamil Nadu, right? Basic features of Bhakti movement. So all the Bhakti saints or philosophy or the Bhakti tenets promoted caste equality, right? Or caste one should not discriminate on the basis of caste, equality of all, right? Personal devotion. So they used to preach or teach through songs, right? So every regional Bhakti saint has his or her version of poetry which we will be looking into when we are doing the topic. But just understand, they all promoted equality, oneness, they wanted society to be equal, they prohibited caste discrimination, etc., right? There are two types of Bhakti tenets, Alvars and Nayanars. Alvars are those who believe in Bhakti of Vishnu and Nayanars are those who believed in Shiva worship, right? Then particularly when you are preparing Bhakti saint, certain Bhakti saints worship certain type of God, right? So which Bhakti saint worshipped Ram or Vishnu or any other god, again has to be prepared. I have questions also compiled for you from this topic, how questions come, so that when you are revising it, you know the relevance of each and everything what I'm saying right now, right? Regional influence, yes, because from Tamil Nadu, many Bhakti saints traveled to different parts of the country, right? And they made disciples, and hence Bhakti movement also saw the advent of rise of or rise of regional literature or regional poetry, right? So for example, in Maharashtra, Sant Tukaram was very famous, right? When you go to Bengal or Assam region, you have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So different regions had different bhakti saints, right? Bhakti saints and their contemporaries in terms of Mughal rulers, contemporary in terms of any Sufi saint coinciding with any bhakti saint, right? Contemporaries in terms of different kings or dynasties, prevalent during their, life, right? So this aspect again is very important, which has already been asked by UPSC. So one aspect is this is very important, this is very important, this is very important, right? Obviously types, because there are other types also. So I hope you all know about Nirgun Bhakt and Sagun Bhakt. This is again a basic element of Bhakti movement. What is it? So Nirgun Bhakti saints are those which worship God without any attribute. Whereas Sagun Bhakts are those which, link certain God with their devotion. For example, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, right? So that's also another, basic element of Bhakti saints. Okay? So this is the basic framework within which you will be revising for prelims. So there is a lot of content even in the slides as well as in the, magazine. But you have to, always highlight this within the framework. Okay? So why are we doing this? Because recently Prime Minister inaugurated the Shila or the rock of Sant Tukaram Mandir in the temple town of Dehu. So Dehu is a place where he is considered to be born as well as he died at this place, right? So this is a very famous place in Maharashtra. He is known by different names. Sometimes UPSC also play with name. So you should be knowing that Sant Tukaram is also known as Tukaram Bolhoba, Ambai, Tukoba, etc. He is an important saint of Bhakti movement in Maharashtra. Shivaji Maharaj was a great admirer of the saint. That means he was one of the contemporary of Sant Tukaram, right? Mahatma Gandhi also widely read his poems, and he also translated one of his poems while he was in Yerawada jail. Yerawada jail is in Pune, right? In which year he was there? Around which time? Any movement associated with it? 1942, yes. 1922 में कौन से jail में थे? Just asking. 22 also he was jailed. Okay. See, this question has never been asked by UPSC. But Mahatma Gandhi as a personality is very favorite of UPSC. Almost every year, if not every year, almost every second year there is a question on Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. So his jail visits, his fasts, right, are again those GK type of facts which you don't get in one compilation. I'm again giving you a framework within which you can prepare Mahatma Gandhi as personality as well in terms of his number of fasts, on what occasions did he fast, right, why did he fast, and his jail visits, which year and for what cause, right. Literary works, as I told you, Bhakti saints used to preach through poetry. Maharashtra Bhakti saints or Sant Tukaram Bhakti poetry is known as Abhangas. So this term is also very important, Abhanga poetry, right? His mainly songs were dedicated to Lord Vithab. I again told you that the god they worshipped is also important. So Lord Vithab or Vithal, who's considered to be the avatar of Lord Vishnu, right? Then his works like Tukaram Gatha, by the name also you can guess that it was written by Tukaram. Social reforms is a part of your means, right? But there is one important pilgrimage or tradition, Vari Varkari pilgrimage or tradition, which has already been asked by UPSC in one of its prelims papers. So this is again an important one. What is this Vari Varkari tradition? So in this tradition, basically they place or they take Lord Vitthap as idol and they go to the temple or the place where he was born, right? So this is known as Vari Varkari tradition. This is a UPSC previous year paper question. I'm just showing you the glimpse of how questions come from this topic, right? So the first statement says most of the Tyagraj kritis in devotional songs like Abhangas of Maratha Bhakti poetry are devotional songs in praise of Lord Krishna. Again, I told you that they emphasize on Lord, which Lord they praise. Tyagraj created several new ragas. Annamacharya and Tyagraj are contemporaries. Again, I told you that contemporaries are important aspect in prelims. Annamacharya Kirtans are devotional songs in praise of Lord Venkateshwar. Again, the God aspect, right? So if again, I'm again and again emphasizing, if you know the framework, broader aspects within which you need to, maneuver your prelims preparation, it will become very easy and quick to revise facts. Otherwise, you will get lost. Okay? There is another question asked in 2019 from this topic. Sant Nimbark was a contemporary of Akbar, again a contemporary fact. Sant Kabir was greatly influenced by Sheikh Ahmad Sirhindi, right? There is a chapter in your new NCRT, Themes in Indian History Part 2, Bhakti and Sufi Traditions. ये question वहीं से बना है, or at least you know this fact has come from for sure and from that chapter, right? So if you want to emphasize on Bhakti Sufi movement, at least do that chapter, right? There is a table of years given of different Bhakti and I think Sufi saints, from where you can connect the dots and you can do the chronology, right? As I told you, there is another question which was asked by UPSC on Vari Varkari tradition. So these are festivals or traditions of different tribes or communities across India, and they had asked Vari Varkari Santals, right? So if someone knows that it's not associated with Santal tribe, at least they can still attempt the question. Okay? So this is how questions come from this topic. Over the last 7 years, these are the 2-3 type of questions which have been asked by UPSC, right? As I told you about the Vari Varkari tradition, basically they take pilgrimage to the temple of Lord Vitthap in Pandharpur, Maharashtra, where they carry the idol and then they go, right? Now coming to contemporaries of Sant Tukaram, the date of his birth and death is not clearly mentioned, or it's different in different historical references, but you can estimate that he was born in either 1608 or 1598 and died in 1650 to 49. But whether he died in 49 or 50, that's for sure. His contemporaries won't change, right, to that extent. So among the Mughal rulers, it was Jahangir and Maratha king Shivaji, right? They'll again, make you confused with Jahangir, but if you know the time period, at least you will be able to understand that theek hai, Babar to hoga nahi, right? So these are again important aspects which you need to look into. This is a prelims type of question. This is a practice question. You can try this question. Saint, their composition and saint associated and their compositions. Tukaram Abhangas, now everyone knows this. Basavan Vak, Shankardev Borgi Chaitanya Sankirtan. Huh? 1 and 4. Okay, 1 and 4 to hai nahi. Again, a reference for this topic. There is a, in CCRT website, there is a topic called Medieval Indian Literature, where Bhakti compositions and Bhakti literature is given. From there, you can again note down the Bhakti saints and their compositions or literary contribution. Okay? C, 1, 3 and 4, Basavan, what his compositions are called? Vak is Lalder. She was prevalent in Kashmir region. Chaitanya Swami Mahaprabhu, Sankirtan. Kabir, Bijak और दोहे. शंकर देव बोरगीत, बासवन, वाचन्स और वचन्स एंड तुकाराम और एकनाथ अभंगास. ठीक है. Now coming to the next topic, Lachit Barphukan. Now recently we have seen 400th birth anniversary of Lachit Barphukan, who's a Ahom general. So that means if you are doing this personality, you need to know about Ahom dynasty. Also you should know that Barphukan is a post or a title given, right? So who are Barphukans? Barphukan is a post or a title given to usually the military commanders of Ahom dynasty. ठीक है, तो ये पता होना चाहिए. And Lachit Barphukan was one of the 5 Barphukans of Ahom kingdom. This is also important. There are certain battles which are important with Ahom kingdom and Mughals. So Battle of Sarai Ghat, which was fought on the banks of river Brahmaputra. So this river is not mentioned in your content, you can just add. So Battle of Sarai Ghat 1671. Lachit Barphukan was one of the military general who was commanding at this battle. He defeated Mughals at this battle, Battle of Sarai Ghat. But eventually Mughals, Britishers, took over the Assam region, and finally through the Treaty of Yandabu, their rule was over. ठीक है, वो हम करते हैं अभी. But just remember that this Battle of Sarai Ghat is important, where Lachit Barphukan was one of the military generals, and in this battle Mughals were defeated, right? Moidams, do you know? What are Moidams? Burial mounds? Moidams, M-O-I-D-A-M, Moidams. So they are burial mounds found in Ahom dynasty. Burial mounds for whom? For either kings or people in general, right? Mostly for the rulers, right? So as I told you, Barphukan is one of the posts in Ahom dynasty. Technically speaking, this post was one of the 5 Mahamantris or councillors in the Ahom kingdom, right? Now this Barphukan post had both executive and judicial powers with jurisdiction of the Ahom kingdom west of Kaliabo river. Now this much detail is not required, just understand that it had both executive and judicial powers. Now coming to understand briefly about Ahom kingdom. Now Ahom kingdom, first of all you need to know the geographical expanse of it. Ahom kingdom ruled which areas? Assam and nearby areas, right? So Ahoms were whom? Were they natives of India? No, right? They migrated from present-day Myanmar to Brahmaputra Valley. This is a very important thing which you might miss out. Sometimes, you know what happens, a statement is given to you which will, say that Ahoms were the natives of Assam region, present-day Assam region. That will be incorrect, right? So it was founded by king called Chao Lung Sui Khafa in 13th century. Again, time period is very important, 13th century. So before this person's arrival, this area was thickly forested and it was inhabited by local tribes, right? So what he did was, when he came to this region, he became so popular as a king that he tried to assimilate even the local tribes inhabiting the region, right? That's why he is known as the architect of Greater Assam or Bor Assam, right? So this is again an important thing which you can note down for your prelims, right? Now as I said that it was, Mughals were also there at this point of time when Ahom kingdom was there, and Battle of Sarai Ghat is very instrumental where Mughals were defeated. But finally through Treaty of Yandabu, you must have heard about Treaty of Yandabu 1826, where British took over Myanmar as well as Assam region. There was a treaty where Myanmar, because Myanmar, invaded those areas, right? Or Burma invaded those areas, and there was exchange of certain terms and conditions at the behest of the British in 1826. Before that, there were internal rebellions in our home kingdom. One rebellion, internal rebellion again, which was instrumental for weakening a home kingdom, was Moamaria rebellion. This is again not given in your content, I suppose. So this is important, Moamaria rebellion. We will be doing this. So what was this Moamaria rebellion all about? So Moamaria rebellion happened first of all in the year 1769. Who were Moamarias? Moamarias were basically low caste peasants who followed the teachings of Anirudh Dev. Anirudh Dev again was an important bhakti saint at in that very region, right? So his teachings basically attracted many low caste peasants. So what happened was that they revolted against the then ruling king of a home dynasty. So that king took the help of Britishers to suppress the revolt, right? So what happened was that, as I told you, a home ruler took the help of the Britishers to suppress the revolt, and finally a home ruler could suppress the authority of Moamarias, and eventually this weakened the home rule or the home kingdom rule, which became one of the factors for the Burma or the Burmese king or dynasty to invade our homes, right? So when this Burmese invasion happened, it followed with again British help to the home rulers or the kingdom, and finally the Treaty of Yandabu was signed in 1826. I hope you have understood the link. नहीं, Moamarias are low caste peasants. बंदे का नाम नहीं है ये. So I'm just summarizing what we have done. So first of all, I told you that a home kingdom's region was present day Assam and nearby areas, right? Second thing which I told you was that the Ahom king was founded by a person who's also known as, architect of Greater Assam. Why this is important? Because Ahom king who founded the Ahom kingdom came from right, and he assimilated the locally inhabited tribes over there, right? Next thing is Battle of Saraighat and Lachit Barfukan's relation. So he was one of the military generals in this Battle of Saraighat, where Mughals were defeated. Right? Then I told you about Moamaria rebellion, which was an internal rebellion of low caste peasants which weakened the authority of the Ahom kingdom as such or in general, which again, attracted the Burmese invasion, and finally through Treaty of Yandabu, 1826, British took over this region. ठीक है? This is very important fact actually which you can remember within this topic, right? Now coming to facts related to its administration, society in general. Now you've come to know that our homes are basically so the basically home society was clan based or tribal in nature, right? So they mainly relied on agriculture or forests as their mainstay. There was another system which is important, which is Paik system. One is Paika rebellion of Odisha, and then there is a system, Paik system in a home dynasty or a home kingdom. What was this Paik system all about? So this Paik system or the Paiks were those who were obliged to render military service to the king in exchange of the land, right? And basically here every adult male between the age of 16 to 50 years was registered as a Paik for the state service or the king service, aging 16 to 50, right? Adult male. Each Paik in return of this military service used to get some agricultural land. Best arable land was called Gamati, which was free of charge, which was neither hereditary, neither transferable, right? So what they used to give apart from military service, civil construction as well, right? So they used to also help the king in assisting or giving, construction services in terms of roads or canals or embankments, right? So by the end of Maurya rebellion, this Paik system also came to an end, right? So this is again another important aspect for prelims which you can note down, Paik system. I think ये भी नहीं है आपके content में. It's not there, right? Okay, because they were mainly tribals, so they worshipped tribal gods. Hinduism became a predominant religion over there, right? Their historical works were called Buranjis. This is also important. There are certain terms usually given by UPSC in their prelims questions, right? So Buranjis were historical works of a home kingdom, right? So this is again important. Also when it comes to military aspect, they employed or they used new and advanced ammunitions like firearms, etc. And they also started to make gunpowder as well. So they were equipped with, military technology also. Now I don't think so that UPSC will ask about a home society or particularly religion in general, but just understand that when it comes to religion, they were mainly tribal clans and they believed in Hinduism. Also they had their own language and followed their own religion somewhere, right? Basically they had an impact of Bhakti saints, and in that region there was Vaishnavite movement, right? So home society, because it was tribal, it was ruled by, or it was divided into different clans, right? They were dependent upon forced labor. There were few caste of artisan. Peasant was given land by his village community, so there was agriculture also. Adult males served in the army during war. This system was called as Paik system, right? In your content I think it's mentioned, but not the term. So this was the Paik system, right? Now coming to cultural aspects with respect to burial or burial mounds, there is a term called moidams, right? And Charaideo Moidam is a very important sacred city related to a home dynasty, and recently for 2023 the government has nominated, I think if I'm not wrong, Charaideo Moidams for the UNESCO's World Heritage Site, right? It has been sent as a 2023 nomination from the Indian government, right? So that can also induce the examiner, if he's if he wants to use this news, he can ask about certain aspects about a home kingdom in general, right? This is again a type of prelims question. In the context of India in the latter half of the 18th century, the Mohamaryas rose in revolt against which of the following powers? So now you know the answer, it's Ahom kings of Assam. Treaty of Yandabu 1826, these were the terms and conditions. I don't know, UPSC has long back stopped asking the treaties terms and conditions, but it's for you to decide and revise. At least you should know that what was this treaty all about. Try to do this question after whatever discussion we've had. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the Ahom kingdom? The Ahom kingdom was the only kingdom which remained undefeated by the Mughals. Second, the Ahom kings depended upon forced labor called paiks. Third, the capture of wild elephants was declared as a royal monopoly by the Ahom kings. Just assume that you only knew what we've discussed. Now try to solve this question. First tell me whether first is correct or not correct. It was the only kingdom which remained undefeated by the Mughals. Mughals did not defeat ever. Did we discuss on this? Second, Ahom kings depended upon forced labor called paiks. Third, the capture of wild elephants was declared a royal monopoly by the Ahom kings. Now I'm going to tell you certain kind of logical things which should run in your mind. You all know about elephant corridors, elephants. Assam mein bhi bahut hai, right? What if you don't know this, but you know this, that yes, elephants are widely found in Assam? Why can't 3 be wrong? Or why will examiner make this as wrong? You are understanding, it could have given some other animal also, right? So this is where your brain should start working, right? So if you know 2 and logically you are able to identify the third is also correct, in how many options do you have 2 and 3 together? B and C, right? Now first, agar ye hota na, I would have told you that this is the only kingdom which remained undefeated. This is also where UPSC plays with your psyche. If this would have been the case, you would have surely known, right? This is how you need to train your mind for prelims. You will not be able to know everything, but you have to run and train your mind in this line. Are you getting me what I'm trying to say? This is a very commonsensical fact which you should have guessed it. Based on this, second is a very common fact which you all might be knowing now. Hai? So that's how you have to solve the question. 2 and 3. Huh? Kya? PEG system is different and forced labor is different. Acha, sorry. Forced labor aise that every adult male, irrespective of whether they want to serve to the nation or not, or serve to the king or not, he was supposed to give his service. Adult in the age of 15 to 60. That's why it's also known as forced labor. Okay? आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now coming to its architecture. So basically, because there was Mughal inspiration also there, or Mughals influence there. So mostly their architecture had Mughal influence in this, in their buildings. Secondly, I told you that Moidams are an important aspect of a home society. Thirdly, as you go up, Assam is a hilly area. So I hope you all understand that when we go above, or we are in hilly areas, wood is the primary material which is being used, right? So here also wood and bamboo. Bamboo, why? Again, it was a forested area. So wood and bamboo were the primary materials found over there. Now these are again logical things which you need not learn and revise and revise. You understand? You build connections that it was at a height, it was thickly forested, isliye the primary material was wood and bamboo, right? Later, there was use of bricks and organic cement. Again, you know, that cement which was made, it was made organically using molasses, fish, eggs, pulses, because again, it was a tribal society. Okay? Rudra Simha was an important Ahom king. He had again a cultural contribution, against him or with him. He invited many architects, painters, dancers, and musicians from Bengal, right? Many temples, Shiv Dol, Devi Dol. Now, whenever you hear Dol in the end, usually you have to associate with Assam region, right? So this is again important. Buranjis, I have told you that they were historical works. Again, term related question can be given to you. You revise kar lena whatever infographic is there. The most important things I have told you. These terms are important, Bor Barua and Borfukan. Bor Barua are specifically military and judicial head, and Borfukans military and civil. We did know that there were certain pegs who used to assist in construction activities also, right? This term is also important, Bhuyas. Bhuyas were landlords, right? And finally, a home rule came to an end with the Treaty of Yandabu in 1826. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, father of Indian Renaissance. You are knowing about him and related facts about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Yes? Now coming to this topic in prelims, socio-religious movement. The type of questions which UPSC generally ask is either directly personality and their related organizations or their works. Over the years, in the last 7 years, they have asked this only. There is another trend in specifically this topic, socio-religious movement or reforms. So again, I would like to give you the framework first about this topic, how questions come, and then we'll come to the main topic. Now, as I told you, either questions are directly from personalities. Now, within personalities, either they ask the organizations they were associated with or they founded, or they ask about any social legislation they were instrumental in beginning or coming up with, along with any viceroy or governor general at that point of time, जैसे sati, child marriage, right? Organizations of different socio-religious reformers. In the last 2-3 years, they have started to pick very new themes in this topic. Now, the new themes are mainly inspired either from current affairs. Let's say again, I told you in the first class how current affairs are being adopted by UPSC in culture. Either the article which has no link with current affairs, random article is being picked up, or if any personality's birth centenary or death anniversary is being celebrated, they will ask. If PM or president or any state chief minister has remembered the personality's contribution, so that is another a trigger which can inspire UPSC paper framer, right? So current affairs on these lines. Secondly, new theme in terms of the sources which you don't read, right? So I'm assuming everyone reads Spectrum and Bipin Chandra or NCRT, right? You don't read frequently books like Sumit Sarkar. You don't read frequently books like Plasi to Partition, from where questions are now being asked, right? So what to do in that case? Rely and practice, as I always say, tests. More tests you do, more broadening of your knowledge takes place, or you get to know different facts surrounding those topics. Or there are certain chapters or topics which UPSC almost asks every year. One is this. So either you pick that book up and do specific chapters like land revenue system, from where again questions are asked, or statements are asked, very typical. Or you can focus on peasant and tribal movements. Again, almost every year questions are asked, and if they are to make question difficult, then they will pick these books up. And this topic. And one personality I told you, Mahatma Gandhi. Right? Facts surrounding him from every nook and corner, important ones you should know. So there is a question. Not question, acha. I'll pointer set करना है ना, तो हो जाएगा, कर दो. अच्छा. So I will take a very short break for a technical reason, and then I'll continue. After when I resume, there are online students also, na? Let's start again. There was a question from someone's end, yes. So I'll tell you. So I'm just repeating her question for the online students. Her question is that do we need to learn specifically with respect to Governor Generals or Viceroy if they are being asked in the regular tests, right? Usually UPSC is not asking, but it's given in the tests. So the answer is yes, you have to learn and find out the information who was the Governor General or Viceroy. Reason being, see, if it is an important event or any movement or any incident of this kind, that under whose reign or Viceroy or Governor General Sati Regulation Act was passed. So obviously you need to know about it, right? But what happens is, when you try to rote learn every Governor General, Viceroy, and things happened within their reign, if you do it event wise as you read history, then it's fine. If you'll try to mug up the information which is, I think, given the last chapters of Spectrum, Governor General and Viceroys, what happened in their tenure, then it would be problem for some, if your memory is not that sharp, right? So do event wise and importance wise, because you can't memorize everything what happened, right? Okay. So let's start. As we discussed, I gave you the framework within which you need to prepare socio-religious movement. Now coming to the questions. So first we'll see the questions and then we'll do the personality so that things are clear in our mind. This is a organization-based question, right? So what they usually do, UPSC, first is the cause or the aim or objective of the organization. And the second aspect which they are trying to test is the region, right? So if you know that Satya Shodhak Samaj was in Bihar, whether you know about the objective or not, then also you can solve the question, right? Similarly, whether it was a temple entry movement in Gujarat, whether it is an anti-caste movement in Maharashtra, whether it is a peasant movement in Punjab. So if someone knows only this much also, that it pertained to region of Maharashtra, so you will mark C, right? So that means when you're doing socio-religious reform movements, region, personality, organizations, regulations or legislations, as I told you, Governor General and Viceroys are the most important things which you should focus, right? This is another question of UPSC. Keshav Chandra Sen is associated with the establishment of which of the above? So mostly factual questions are coming, है ना? So he's associated with which of the organizations? So if someone knows that Calcutta Unitarian Committee is related to, you have never practiced and gone through questions of UPSC? You are giving prelims this time, na? Okay. At least do one thing, whenever your PT365 classes are going on with respect to whichever subject, try to see last 7-8 years questions of that subject. So if today it was meant for culture, you could have, revised your previous year questions. You will never get a dedicated day or time to inaugurate your previous year papers. It should be always with the class, right? Okay. So what they do usually is that they give an organization name which does not belong to the personality being asked in the question, right? Then this was a question which was asked in 2020. Rakhmabai case of 1884 revolved around which of the following issues, right? So many of you must not have heard about Rakhmabai case, right? So what they are usually doing in modern Indian history, that they are picking, as I told you, new themes from books which you don't usually read. So there are chapters or topics in previous year papers. I'll share it in my last class, or you can go through the YouTube channel of Vision IAS of analysis of modern Indian history or ancient medieval culture. There I have shared a list of topics which are important from UPSC perspective, and also the analysis of the questions over the years from the topics given. So as I am saying, socio-religious movement is one of the very important topics from which UPSC is every year or every second year is asking question. Okay? So this was directly from Class C2 partition. Let's now come to the topic Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So now how you will be now doing Raja Ram Mohan Roy with respect to his organizations, right? Newspapers or journals, legislations, right? Governor General or Viceroy during his time period, and that's about it. Okay? Now coming to Raja Ram Mohan Roy, first of all, his time period is important, so you need not skip that. Secondly, he was given the title Raja. By whom? This is also an important thing which you should highlight. Which Mughal emperor? Akbar II. They will write Akbar and you, in your mind it will be looking like Akbar II. So that should also not happen. Usually silly mistakes of this kind happens, right? Then he's also known as Father of Modern India. This title was given by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Bharat Pathik, Rabindranath Tagore, right? Now coming to his areas, wide areas which he was famous for. He was a scholar, he was a very learned man who used to know many languages, right? So he knew Bengali, Persian, Arabic, Sanskrit, English, right? Sometimes again they can give you a statement that he was a member of civil services, Indian civil services. Many modern Indian history personalities or moderates were part of or had cleared the examination. So you should be knowing that he was never, he did not clear or sat for the exam. He was rather given a post of Diwan, and he was also a clerk in the East India Company. You know, these are the facts which are new for even UPSC to give it to you and confuse you, right? Then coming to this infographic, I'll just explain you very briefly. So first of all, it starts with 1823, but there is an organization related to Raja Ram Mohan Roy called Atmiya Sabha, which was founded long before Brahmo Samaj or Brahmo Sabha. But what was the year? 1813. Okay? So organizations related to Raja Ram Mohan Roy. First was Atmiya Sabha, right? Then Brahmo Samaj was known as Brahmo Sabha earlier, right? So in 1823, Raja Ram Mohan Roy established a monotheistic sect of Hinduism. What do you mean by monotheistic sect? Believe in one God, right? In 1828, Brahmo Samaj. So there is a year 1828. When was Brahmo Sabha or Samaj established? 1828. Then 1833, he died, and after his death, the vacuum that was created in Brahmo Sabha or Brahmo Samaj was filled by the entry of Debendranath Tagore, right? So this is also important. Debendranath Tagore already had one organization to its credit. What was the organization's name? Or socho. Tattvabodhini Sabha, right? Then 1857, Keshav Chandra Sen also joined Brahmo Sabha. Now, Debendranath Tagore was very, happy about the work or the, scheme of things Keshav Chandra Sen brought in Brahmo Sabha or Brahmo Samaj. And what were they? That, he wanted to actually promote the message of Brahmo Sabha to outside Bengal also. But in the wake of doing this, he also encouraged many scholars of different religions or many faiths of different religion also, accommodate, or they were being accommodated in Brahmo Sabha. So what happened was, the character of Brahmo Sabha was getting more liberal in outlook. Okay? Because the main objective was that Raja Ram Mohan Roy established this with the one main point in his mind, that was monotheistic form of religion, right? So with the entry of Keshav Chandra Sen, the whole atmosphere of Brahmo Sabha was getting changed. That led to the faction or bifurcation between Debendranath Tagore and followers of Debendranath Tagore and Keshav Chandra Sen, right? So what happened was, there was establishment of Brahmo Samaj in, so there was Brahmo Samaj of India under Keshav Chandra Sen, and Adi Brahmo Samaj were the followers of Debendranath Tagore. But again, there was this bifurcation in Brahmo Samaj of India, which was of Keshav Chandra Sen. So Keshav Chandra Sen, as I told you, posed himself to be very liberal and modern in his outlook. But what happened was, he married off his daughter to Raja of Kuch Bihar, which again, irked the followers, and there was again formation of Sadharan Brahmo Samaj, a bifurcation which happened in Brahmo Samaj of India. I hope this is going into your mind, or shall I summarize through an infographic? को बुलाना जरा. So I'll give you the infographic, just remember this, okay? Then what are the contributions of Raja Ram Mohan Roy? Bengal Sati regulation, year is very important, 1829. Who was the Governor General? Very important Governor General, Lord William Bentinck, right? Just backstage नहीं आ रहा इसमें. आप बैक स्टेज पे चली जाओ, ठीक है। ठीक है, fine. So first I'll give you the infographic. So first thing which we talked about was Atmiya Sabha and Brahmo Sabha. That belonged to Raja Ram Mohan Roy, right? उसके बाद क्या हुआ? He died in 1833, right? Then there was entry of Debendranath Tagore. He was already associated with right. Then there was entry of Keshav Chandra Sen. He was, in favor of establishing Brahmo Samaj in outside Bengal also, right? And he was more liberal in outlook, modern in outlook, right? Which led to the faction. So there were two factions. One was between Debendranath Tagore and Keshav Chandra Sen, which led to the setting up of Brahmo Samaj of India. Then there was faction between Brahmo Samaj of India into Adi Brahmo Samaj. So this faction happened, or this division happened because of Keshav Chandra Sen marrying her 13-year-old daughter to Raja of Cooch Behar. This division happened because of his more liberal and modern outlook, right? हाँ, साधारण भी होगा. मैंने जानबूझकर नहीं लिखा. I did not write it. You already have it. I was just trying to explain you this. ठीक है. Then comes another important fact, that he opposed the establishment of Sanskrit college. Sometimes, statements can be given to you that he promoted the establishment of Sanskrit college. So he opposed it, right? He is also associated with Hindu college, which was set up in 1817 with, along with whose collaboration or association, David Hare. David Hare, you must have also read about the Rosio movement, Vivian de Rosio. What was that? Or the Rosio movement was about what? Young Bengal movement, yes. So who were Young Bengals? Supremacy of? This half knowledge will not do. Yeah. Who were radical? Young Bengal or Raja Ram Mohan Roy? They were more radical. Yes. Ha. Then he is also associated with Vedanta College, another important fact. Right? Another thing is Atmiya Sabha, which we've already done. He is associated with Atmiya Sabha, 1814. What was the purpose of Atmiya Sabha? Sometimes, this question is also asked, reason-based question or aim-based question, that what was the main objective of Atmiya Sabha? So the main or the primary reason for which Atmiya Sabha was set up was to nurture the philosophical discussions on the idea of monotheism. Then Brahma Sabha was established in 1828 with or along with Debendranath Tagore, right? It's also known as Brahmo Samaj later on, right? He also wrote Tuhfatul Muwahhidin and Monoziatul Adyan. Again, these were, writings or pieces to show that he was a defender or promoter of Islam, right? Christianity, he gave a Unitarian version of the entire body of scriptures. What do you mean by this? He gave a Unitarian version of the entire body of scriptures, old and new, in his controversies with the Christian missionaries. He believed in Christianity. He believed in different faiths. Bas itna just remember and keep this in your mind, right? Now coming to journals and press, he published Sambat Comedy, again very important piece of information from UPSC point of view. This question has already been asked. And this was a Bengali weekly and it's also considered the first newspaper in an Indian language. Sambat Comedy, first newspaper in Indian language. Which language? Bengali, right? Miratul Akhbar, it's also known as Mirror of News. It's the India's first Persian newspaper, right? Bas itna hi yaad rakhna, you need not remember that it was published on weekly basis on Fridays. This won't be asked, right? Just remember Sambat Comedy, and it was a Bengali weekly, the first language newspaper in India. Miratul Akhbar, India's first Persian newspaper, right? Then comes your Sri Aurobindo. Another important fact is that which newspaper was stopped from publication under Licensing Regulation Act was Miratul Akhbar, right? So this is also important. Now coming to Sri Aurobindo, why was he in news? He was in news because of his 150th birth anniversary. Now Aurobindo Ghosh is associated with which aspect of modern Indian history? Revolutionary nationalism, right? Any conspiracy case which he is associated with? Alipur conspiracy case. Now again, I'm giving you the framework within which you need to prepare your revolutionary nationalism topic and how the questions come usually. So when you are doing revolutionary nationalism phase, from prelims perspective, first of all, there are two approaches. Either go personality wise, that means, region, year, organizations they set up, conspiracy case they were associated with. Either this approach, or you go phase wise. So I hope you know that revolutionary nationalism happened in two waves. One was 19th century and the other one was 20th century. Okay? Another approach is region wise, which is more appropriate for prelims, I feel, because there were 2-3 important centers or regions which were very famous for revolutionary nationalism. One was Bengal, and that's how you do in Bengal, which all personalities, organizations or conspiracy cases happened, right? Another region was Punjab, central provinces. Again, you do the same thing. All the personalities, conspiracy cases, organizations. Then third region was Maharashtra, like Tilak, V.D. Savarkar, etc. Okay? So that's how you can focus on revolutionary nationalism. Either of them are appropriate for prelims. This is more appropriate for means, right? if you are asking me, this is the one which you should prepare holistically for prelims. Okay. Now coming to Sri Aurobindo. Sorry. No, there are two groups, first of all, moderates and extremists, right? Within extremists, there are factions, right? It's not as if extremists are not revolutionaries. Revolutionary nationalists are those who are taking extreme forms in their call for independence, right? So first of all, Sri Aurobindo, again, he was a Bengali poet, philosopher, spiritual leader, revolutionary freedom fighter. He was born in Calcutta in the year 1872, right? Another important fact is that he sat for Indian Civil Services examination, but he did not join the service finally. But he was appointed for the state service of King of Baroda. I'm again repeating, he sat for Indian Civil Services examination. He did not clear the probation, right? But he joined the state service of King of Baroda, right? Now coming to the organizations he was associated with. Which was the organization he was associated with? Anushilan Samiti. Now in that period of time where Aurobindo Ghosh and his brother Barindra Kumar Ghosh was there were two organizations, revolutionary organizations, which were quite famous. One was under, Gyanendranath Basu in Midnapur, and in Calcutta there was Anushilan Samiti, which was founded by Pramota Mittal, including Jatindranath Banerjee, Barindra Kumar Ghosh and others. That means Aurobindo Ghosh and his brother was also instrumental in the founding of Anushilan Samiti in Calcutta, right? Now what had happened was that, as I told you, that his brother was also quite active and they were involved in Anushilan Samiti's activities. Now coming to Anushilan Samiti specifically, because they were associated, as I told you that he was appointed in the state service of King of Baroda. Aurobindo Ghosh became instrumental in also highlighting the Baroda group of revolutionaries, because he was at that point of time in Baroda and he was sending his brother Barindra Kumar Ghosh to Calcutta, right? There is another important fact which you should understand is what was the purpose of Anushilan Samiti. So mainly Anushilan Samiti, again a statement can be given to you that it was more to do with military training, etc. So the answer will be no. Anushilan Samiti imparted its member training in physical exercise, playing, even moral lectures, which helped them to ignite the cause of nationalism. They also undertook relief work for the masses, which attracted or made masses more close to the revolutionary activities at that point of time. Because when they used to undertake the mass or undertake relief work, masses used to, they used to come in contact with the masses, and that's how the popularity began, right? So they were getting the support of the masses in their revolutionary actions, right? Now coming to Alipur bomb case or Alipur conspiracy case. Just try to solve this question. Most of the accused in this case were members of the revolutionary group Anushilan Samiti. Second, Motilal Nehru was the defense attorney of Aurobindo Ghosh. Sometimes this fact is also asked. Again, you will not find this fact very casually given in your books, right? So yes, again, there will be an intelligent guess over here, even if you don't know. If you know that Aurobindo Ghosh and his brother were involved in this, you will obviously link their participation with Anushilan Samiti, right? Second is a factual statement. Motilal Nehru was not the defense attorney of Aurobindo Ghosh in this particular conspiracy case or bomb case. It was Chitranjan Das, right? Now coming to Alipur bomb case or conspiracy case, this is very, very important that you should know that this conspiracy case is also known as the first state trial of this magnitude. Why first state trial? Because the members who were involved in this conspiracy case were charged with conspiracy or waging war against the king, right? This trial is also known as Emperor versus Aurobindo Ghosh and others. So if a question comes that this case of Emperor versus Aurobindo Ghosh and others, also considered the first state trial of the magnitude, of a huge magnitude, is associated with which of the following conspiracy cases? Kanpur conspiracy, Alipur conspiracy case. So that's how you again have to associate this with Alipur conspiracy case or bomb case, right? What happened in this bomb case or conspiracy? It happened in 1908. Who tried to assassinate whom? Praful Chaki was sent along with others to kill the magistrate Kingford of Muzaffarpur, right? So what they did was that they threw bombs on the carriage which was carrying this magistrate, right? So most of the accused in the Alipur bomb case were from which organization? Anushilan Samiti, right? Then there were other members also. So revolutionary, after this happened, again a vacuum was created. So most of the revolutionary activities after this incident were taken by Jugantar group, right? Which was led by Jatindranath Mukherjee, who is also known as Baga Jatin. I know I am seeing many confused faces because I am again assuming you have not revised it. Nahi kiya na? But you know these names somewhere or the other. Now things will get more clear if you read your textbook after the class. Okay? First of all, you have to associate with that framework, and then you should make separate or very short notes on, you know, region-wise who were the revolutionaries, who were members of which organization. Okay? Then, as I told you, another important fact is who fought the case for Aurobindo Ghosh. It was C.R. Das, right? That's about it. Now this is with respect to mains. This has nothing to do with prelims, but his works or journals or newspapers are important. So in 1914, he started a magazine called Arya. To which session he was associated? Surat session of INC in 1907. How he was associated? Because what happened in 1907 Surat split? Split happened between moderates and extremists, and he joined which group? Extremists, right? Ye mains ka hai, you can just use it after your prelims. This has nothing to do with prelims. Now again coming to prelims type of question, try to understand the statements given. The answer is obviously Aurobindo Ghosh, that's why I am giving you. You must have got new lamps for old in your content. You also must be getting Lotus and Dagger Revolutionary Secret Society or organization, again started by Aurobindo Ghosh. And he also worked as the principal of Bengal National College. Now this post or college or school, if any moderate or extremist or social religious reformer, if he is associated with, you have to do it, right? So he had been a principal of Bengal National College. Why? Because in 2021, there was a question, who among the following was associated as secretary with Hindu female school, which later came to known as Bethune Female School. This is again a social religious reformer wala question, but I'm telling you the relevance of the post. So if any moderate extremist or revolutionary nationalist or social religious reformer is associated with any post of any school or college, had he been a secretary or a principal, right, you need to do it. Similarly, this is also a very old question of UPSC. New Lamps for Old was written by Aurobindo Ghosh, right? So I'm making your task easier, that I'm showing you through questions how things have been asked either or they can be asked. तो याद करना आपका point है, that you will be able to, you know, how much you will be able to retain it. This is important. Karm Yogi and Bande Mataram is important. You can just highlight in your material if you're carrying it with you. I'm just emphasizing on facts which need to be remembered and cannot be skipped. One is New Lamps for Old, Bande Mataram, Karm Yogi, Bhavani Mandir. It was a very important pamphlet published by Anushilan Samiti, right? Then, someone was saying something. That's about it. How many facts did we do about Aurobindo Ghosh? You can count on fingers also. Shall I summarize it for you? First of all, Aurobindo Ghosh, he was a Bengali revolutionary, right? He had cleared the civil services examination, but he did not clear his probation. Instead, he joined the state service of King of Baroda. He, along with his brother Barindra Kumar Ghosh, were instrumental in founding or establishing Anushilan Samiti in Calcutta in 1902, along with Prathama Mittar and others, right? Then, which conspiracy case? Alipur bomb conspiracy case, right? Who was the defense counsel? Chittaranjan Das was the... it was undertaken to murder or try to murder whom? District Magistrate Kingsford, right? Then his works, Bande Mataram, Karm Yogi, New Lamp for Old. What else? Bhavani Mandir was a pamphlet published by Anushilan Samiti. He had been principal or secretary? Principal of Bengal National College. Lotus and Dagger was a secret revolutionary society he was associated with. बस इतना सही है. And the more you will revise all these points, in 2 seconds or 5 seconds, it would be your revision of all these facts. Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj. Now, Marathas have not been covered by UPSC for a long while now. I think, if I am not wrong, more than 10 years there has not been any single question on Marathas, right? And this time, in the last 2-3 years also, if you count, Maratha history and Maratha administration, there are many movies being made on Maratha, Maratha rule, Maratha kingdom, any character they pick up, right? So you have to cover Marathas this time. Okay, first of all. Second, whatever personalities are given in your current affairs, besides that, I'm again repeating, at least revise your NCERT, right? Again, when you talk about Bhakti movement, there also you have, Sens who wrote many works in Maratha, and specifically Tukaram, Namdev, they are very famous, right? Now coming to the main topic, King Shahu Maharaj. The facts which are important with respect to this topic, I will talk first about them and then I'll tell you how this needs to be covered. So first of all, you should know that he was a descendant of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was the founder of modern Maratha Empire, right? He is also known as, Shahu Maharaj is also known as Yashwantrao Ghadke, and he was adopted into the Bhosle dynasty, right? Next, very important probable question can be Vedokta controversy, that it is related to which or among which personality, or it is about what, right? So this Vedokta controversy is with respect to the Vedic ritual rites which were which Shahu Maharaj wanted to also indulge in or participate, which was rejected by the priest at that point of time, because Vidokta refers to Vedic religious rites which were considered to be the rites given to the twice born castes, right? As opposed to the Purantak, which were basically rites or sacrifices from Puranas, which were allowed by to be participated by all Shudras. The Brahmins, yeah, Kshatriyas, right? Then his association with B.R. Ambedkar. So basically what again you have to do is that he and B.R. Ambedkar were contemporary to each other, right? Because once you read this, you are not able to get a point specifically mentioned in your content that he was a contemporary. But question aa jayega that he was contemporary to whom, right? So you should know that he provided financial support to B.R. Ambedkar to complete his study, and even in his endeavors, Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj was associated with. Okay. There is a question. Okay, so student is asking for a strategy for last 60 days. Okay, I'll give it in the last class how to prepare history. I hope the question is with respect to history and not all the subjects. Then he's also credited to supporting Ambedkar's newspaper Mook Nayak. Now this newspaper is very important. Otherwise also UPSC has asked a question on it. B.R. Ambedkar, or B.R. Ambedkar is contemporary of Shahu Maharaj, or Shahu Maharaj is contemporary of B.R. Ambedkar. Right? Now with respect to again prelims, I don't think so, too much is there here, but yes, one important fact is that he was again influenced by the works of Jyotiba Phule and patronized his Satya Shodhak Samaj. Satya Shodhak Samaj, I showed you the question that it was already asked, and it was an organization which worked for an anti-caste movement. That's why he's also associated and patronized by this organization in Maharashtra, right? And that's about it. In Hindi you're asking me? Truth Seeker Society. Who's asking me? Truth Seeker Society. Well, in English it is Truth Seeker Society. Now coming to Alluri Sitaram Raju, again 125th birth anniversary, right? Which region? Andhra Pradesh, right? Now this region at that point of time came under Madras Presidency. Certain Godavari districts also came under Madras Presidency, so don't get confused, right? He is associated with Andhra region only, but at that point of time Madras Presidency also had certain Godavari districts, right? Now very quickly we'll do first of all what is important from prelims point of view. He led Rampa Rebellion of 1922. What was this Rampa Rebellion all about? Rampa Rebellion is also known as Manyam Rebellion, again very important thing. It was a tribal rebellion in which areas? Godavari Agency of Madras Presidency. Now what was this Rampa Rebellion all about? Basically the Britishers had imposed a Madras Forest Act of 1882. Now this act prohibited the rights of the tribes to collect forest produce, and also it discouraged them to do shifting cultivation, which was also known as Podu cultivation, right? So their activities were highly restricted. They were not able to get free movement over there. They were not able to consume or take the forest produce. Also it prohibited them to do shifting cultivation. In their language was known as Podu cultivation, right? So that's about it. Then finally what happened? There was a rebellion by these tribes against the Britishers, right? Now there were certain strategies or techniques which were used by Alluri Sitaram Raju, which due to which he is also written in most of the history books as one of the important tribal leaders who indulged in modern techniques of fighting with the Britishers or guerrilla warfare technique. So what he did was, like you see in movies, whenever a villain is about to attack or any person is about to attack any government machinery, he gives a letter signed by him that I'm going to attack at this place at this point of time. Kar lo jo karna hai types, hai na? That in 1 hour I will attack this. So something like that was also, he was indulged in, and he launched attacks on police stations. He used to, give and send his trademark letter to the officials, right? He would also announce in that letter the time and date of the attack, right? And he is also one of those tribal leaders who tried to merge the tribal movement with certain principles of Gandhiji. That's why Rampa Rebellion also merged with non-cooperation movement, right? Because it was basically against the British laws and machinery, right? And non-cooperation movement was also about not cooperating with the Britishers, right? So this Rampa Rebellion happened during the course of non-cooperation movement and tried to merge with it. So he was also one of those who wore khadi as a symbol of resistance against colonial power. Okay? That's it. बस इतना ही है about Alluri Sitaram Raju, right? Then comes your other important personalities. Now, to be very honest, whatever content is given here, that is more than sufficient. You need not go beyond this. In the personalities which I find the content can be shared with you, I will do that personality with you at length. But are you guys all okay about we skipping reading this content only? Yes? Because these are very, I'm not saying that charak is not important, but what I mean is that whatever information is given is more than sufficient for prelims point of view, right? Dara Shikoh, Chhatrapati Sambhaji. Sambhaji again from Maratha history, this is important. I told you that they might ask either in mains or prelim something about Maratha history. Dara Shikoh, very important. This has already been asked by UPSC in one of its previous papers. Who was he? He was one of the sons of Shah Jahan, right? And he also, Shah Jahan considered Dara Shikoh as his legal heir. So there was this battle. What was the battle all about? Battle of Samugad, which was also a battle for succession, right, after Shah Jahan's death, right? So Aurangzeb, Shah Shuja and Murad Baksh were on one side, and Dara Shikoh was on the other, right? So this battle of Samugad is very important. Dara Shikoh was the eldest son. He is also credited with the title called Shahzade Buland Iqbal. Again, important one, right? Why Dara Shikoh again is important? Because recently Ministry of Culture has set up a 7-member panel to know about or to locate the grave of Dara Shikoh. It is considered to be buried nearby Humayun tomb, right? So that means Humayun tomb can also be asked. Humayun tomb is a World Heritage Site. Okay? So when you are doing this, you then straight away come to the type of questions to know more about Dara Shikoh. Sir Akbar. Sir Akbar was a Persian translation of Upanishads by Dara Shikoh. So Dara Shikoh was a very liberal person. He translated, Indian or Hindu scriptures in different languages, mainly Persian, right? So he wanted to learn and learn about the Hindu scriptures. So this can be a question given to you. An official chronicle of the reign of Akbar by Abul Fazl, which was the book written? Akbarnama. A victory gate built by Akbar to commemorate his victory over Gujarat, Buland Darwaza. Right? A book commissioned by Akbar based on the heroic tales of the uncle Prophet Muhammad, Hamzanama. Right? So when you do questions, don't only read the answer, you also read the statements and the respective answers. Okay? Humayun tomb. It's also known as a dormitory of the Mughals. Its interior is large octagonal chamber with vaulted roof compartments. It was built during the lifetime of Humayun. It was not built during the lifetime of Humayun, but it was constructed by his widowed wife. Right? So eliminate 3. 1 and 2 is the answer. Okay? 1570 Garden Tomb. His widow Hamida Banu Begum, who commenced the construction, right? Dadabhai Naroji, very, very important personality, very important facts of modern Indian history questions around him. So we will do this in detail. Apart from this, what is again given to you, there are few things which you need to lay emphasis on. One, difference between home charges and drain of wealth, right? He is again one of the founders of East Indian Association. Dadabhai Naroji had been the president of Indian National Congress how many times? 3 times. Okay? So what were his Congress sessions about, and any landmark decision that was taken? So Dadabhai Naroji, grand old man of India, right? He founded the East India Association in London. Why have I written 67 and 66? Because somewhere it's written 66 and somewhere it's written 67, right? So don't get too much of confused and puzzled about it. Questions ज़्यादा ये आएगा कि year, or you have to place it in chronology. It will not be close, right? Then he was also a member of Municipal Corporation Bombay, right? He was appointed, this is important, as Justice of Peace in 1883 and started a newspaper called Voice of India. Then Bombay Presidency Association, he was one of the vice presidents, or he had been one of its vice president, right? As I told you, he had been a president of Congress session thrice. 1 in Calcutta, 2 in Calcutta and 1 in Lahore. 1886 Calcutta, 1893 Lahore, 1906 Calcutta. Now 1886 Calcutta and 1906 Calcutta session is very important. Reason being, in 1886 Calcutta session, what happened was that Indian Association merged with Indian National Congress. Indian Association was founded in 1876 and it was founded by Anand Mohan Bose and Surendranath Banerjee, right? It also objected to the Vernacular Press Act 1878, right? 1906 Calcutta session related to Swadeshi movement. Here 4 resolutions were adopted: Swaraj, boycott, Swadeshi and national education. This question had already been asked, I think 2-3 years back by UPSC, right? Then another important fact is that there was a conference or congress which was held in Paris in 1889. 100 years before, what had happened? So 1789 is instrumental in world history. French Revolution, right? Liberty, equality and fraternity. So to mark the centenary of French Revolution, in 1889 a congress was held in Paris, and because of this congress in Paris, there was an an organization or a conference, second international, which took place, of which Dadabhai Naroji attended its session. Right, so he pleaded in the second international conference, he pleaded the cause for India's freedom, right? Now you will, why am I, reading this out? Because you may assume that at that point of time India's cause for freedom was not so highlighted or was not so talked about, right? It is usually associated with after the advent of Gandhi, but it was not the case. Dadabhai Naoroji had already raised his voice for India's independence in the international forums, right? He is also the first Asian to be a British MP in 1892. 1892 Councils Act bhi kar lena revise. I specifically did not mention about 1892. ऐसे तो I could have linked everything and पूरा history यहाँ पर हो जाता, right? So whenever you revise something like this, if you see 1892, so your next task should be what happened in 1892, right? Why you have to associate with 1892 Councils Act? Because of Dadabhai Naoroji, he became the first MP or first Asian MP in London in 1892, right? So that means he stood for election for House of Commons, right? Again, he campaigned for India's independence. His writings, Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, is very important. He is also one of the founding members of London Indian Society, which was superseded by East India Association. Now these are very heavy facts. आपको क्या करना है? In one page, just mention the associations and organizations he was associated with. With ones he founded, just write F, and the others he was associated, just remember them as it is, right? So founding member is important, and associated member with some organizations can be skipped as well, right? So let's do through question and understand what is the difference between home charges and economic drain, right? Which of the following were the constituents of home charges, which was one of the methods of economic drain? First, dividend to the shareholders of the East India Company, interest on public debt raised abroad, pensions and furlough payments of British officers in the civil and military departments in India. Fourth, interest on foreign capital investment. What do you think are the home charges? Any option which you think can be eliminated? Home charges. Charges which were meant to be applied on home expenses. किसको आप eliminate कर सकते हो? What about this one, interest on foreign capital investments? Can you eliminate this? So what were home charges basically? They were charges which were incurred in England by the Secretary of State on behalf of India, right? So to uplift or for the welfare of India, there were certain expenses done at the office of Secretary of State in England. And what were they? Dividend to the shareholders of the East India Company. Interest on public debt raised abroad. Matlab, there were certain works which were done, like railway construction, setting up of where investments were asked from the Britishers, right? So let's say in railways. So there was interest on public debt raised abroad, or dividend to the shareholders of the East India Company which invested in railways. Expenses on India office establishment in London, pensions and furloughs to the given to the British officers in the civil and military departments in India, payments to the British War Office, because Britain was trying to show its image that it's protecting India, right, from other European powers. So payments to the British War Office, store purchases in England. So they all were part of home charges, whereas economic drain constituted all the home charges plus interests and profits on foreign capital investment, payment with regard to banking, insurance and shipping services in India. This is what you have to remember. Rest others are home charges, right? Then comes your these personalities. Bengali Venkaya we will do in detail because there is a topic called National Symbols of India. So there we will do the whole history of Indian flag, how it came into shape. So Bengali Venkaya is considered to be the architect of India's national flag, right? Naval traditions in India. Again, why I'm saying, Marathas, contribution in the history, because again, the naval design which we have taken or adopted recently is this emblem, right? So earlier our naval design was this, which had cross, which was inspired by UK. But here now we have taken this emblem, which is an ensign or seal of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, right? So this much is fine. There are terms given or divisions given in Maratha Navy organization. You can just go through it, right? So for example, fighting ships included Gurabs and Galbats. So Gurabs and Galbat, the term seen in the medieval Indian history or in the history of India, they are type of ships. So these terms you have to pick up, right? Another important personality who's associated with Maratha Navy is Kanoji Angria. Again, on this personality, a Marathi movie has been made 2 years back, right? So Kanoji led the Maratha Navy established by Shivaji. What was his significance was that he compelled the foreign traders to always buy a license or a pass issued by him to enter into Indian waters. So just imagine his magnificence, that he could ask the foreign traders to for a pass or a license to enter into Indian waters, right? So he was very powerful at that point of time. So Kanoji Angria name you can remember, right? Then in your content you have history of Indian Navy through different stages of civilization. So for example, Indus Valley civilization. So you have reference of port or dock at Lothal, right? There were maritime trade link with Mesopotamia. In modern dynasty, again there were maritime trading activities. Megasthenes has described about it that there was a special group which looked after naval warfare fighting. Then Arthashastra also mentions about a specific department of waterways under a Navdhyaksha. Again, Navdhyaksha you can with the name also guess. Then how Satavahanas controlled the Indian Navy. A very important dynasty which is again credited with having supremacy on navy or maritime waters is Cholas, right? So what I have done is, these are two king of Cholas, Raja Raja I and Raja Rajendra I, who are again credited with expanding the Chola Navy, specifically Rajendra I. So under his reign, the whole Bay of Bengal was considered to be the Chola Lake, right? So that's what you can just go through. Then coming to national symbols of India. So why this is in news? Why this is the news? So flag code was in news. Otherwise, Amrit Mahotsav, Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, they are all promoting national symbols, right? Specifically flag is in news. But nonetheless, we because there was a national flag which was in news, the material is incorporating all the national symbols of India, right? So one is national flag, state emblem, national anthem, national song, national calendar, national bird, national animal, national flower, national tree. Now this national animal and national tree has already been asked by UPSC in one of its previous year papers, right? I am again assuming that national song has also been asked, and this all this can also be asked again, right? So there are few national identity elements which UPSC is asking. First is national bird, animal has been asked. Then national flag is very important. So all this we have to do from modern Indian history perspective, right? So let's come to national flag. Before starting this topic, can we take a 5-minute break? So first of all, national flag. National flag was in use because of Flag Code of India 2002 and the changes done in it. Also because of the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. So there were two important amendments done in the Flag Code of India. One was with respect to the time of displaying the national flag, and the other one was with respect to the material used, right? So before that, let's understand what is this Flag Code of India. So Flag Code of India is a set of regulations and conventions which governs the use, display and hoisting of Indian national flag, right? It was brought into effect on 26 January 2002. So as I told you, it governs the use and display of national flag by either public, private or government institutions. That means private people or local people can also display national flag, right? So what is the size and shape of the national flag? It is rectangular, which proportion 3:2, right? A member of the public or private or educational institution must display or may display, not must, may display national flag on all days or occasions in accordance with the dignity and honor of the national flag, right? So I told you that there were certain amendments done in the Flag Code of India 2002. Two amendments which were done were with respect to one time that it could be hoisted, earlier it could be hoisted only between sunrise and sunset. That means when the sun rises and as soon as the sun sets, the flag could not be hoisted. But now the national flag could be flown both in day and night if it is displayed in the open or on the house of a member of the public, 24 hours, right? The other amendment which was done was with the use of the material or the cloth. Earlier only khadi, hand spun, hand woven khadi or wool or cotton or silk was used. Now they have allowed the use of polyester cloth as well. Now these, specifically this amendment which was done has agitated the organization called Karnataka Khadi Gramodyog Samyukt Sangh, because that was a organization which was the only organization that was coming up or manufacturing the cloth for khadi, and it used to get bulk orders before the Republic Day and Independence Day. But now this is not the case, because this has allowed the machine made Chinese cloth that could be used in the national flag, right? This can be a kind of an information which might help you if question comes on whose cars or public dignitary car national flag can be displayed. President, Vice President, Governor, heads of Indian missions, Prime Ministers and other cabinet ministers, MOS, so they can, let's say they can give you an option that Speaker of Lok Sabha car cannot use the national flag, or no national flag can be displayed on the car of Speaker, right? So things like these you can just revise and make note in your mind, right? Now coming to the history of national flag. Now there are Congress sessions, personalities which are associated in the making of the national flag, how it is till today, right? So earliest national flag design was like this, and in 1906 it is considered to be the first national flag of India. It was displayed or hoisted at Kolkata, right? So it had 3 horizontal lines, green, yellow and red, and this red, yellow and green with Vande Mataram in between had its own significance. It had certain symbols like sun, moon, lotus, right? Then in 1907, Madam Bhikaji Kama, you must be knowing that she unfurled the Indian flag in Germany in 1907, and this is considered to be an event where for the first time on foreign soil a national flag was hoisted. Now what was the change from there to here? Vande Mataram is still there. So lotus has been replaced by constellation of stars, right? And even red color is replaced by green, and then there is orange, yellow and green, right? In 1917, Annie Besant and Lokmanya Tilak adopted a new flag as part of their Home Rule movement. So during their Home Rule movement, this was the flag which they used. Huh? Okay. So it was inspired by Union Jack. Union Jack is the flag of United Kingdom, right? Then in 1921, Baiswara session of the All India Congress Committee, Pingali Venkaya. Now here comes Pingali Venkaya for the first time. In which session? Baiswara session, 1921. Pingali Venkaya designed national flag of this kind for India, which had charkha and two colors, red and green. This red and green signified two religious communities, green with Muslims and red with Hindus, right? And charkha being the spinning wheel, the symbol of Gandhiji or the common masses, right? In 1931, again the Congress committee met at Karachi and adopted the tricolor flag, a modification of Pingali Venkaya again as India's national flag. But here after this our modern day flag came into being. So if you can see, what could have replaced? The charkha with Ashok Chakra, right? So Ashok Chakra is in which color? Navy blue. Okay. Now this does not have any religious interpretation. Red was replaced with saffron and green remains as it is. Okay. Now the national flag as adopted on July 22, 1947. Now this date and year is important. July 22, 1947. They will confuse you with 26th July, 26th November, 26th January, 15th August, right? How are you going to remember this? 26 July 1947 को जैसे भी आपको you can make mnemonic. I made mnemonic. That flag was, वो झूले खा रहा था, because from the 1906 to 1947 he was just swinging in air, and that's how I remembered this date, 22 July 1947. हाँ ऐसे ही हो जाएगा. That's why I'm telling you. ठीक है. Then there are constitutional and legal dimensions to national flag. So that means that you need to know the constitutional provisions governing national flag and any legislation or law governing national flag. So there was one of the minor committees of the Constituent Assembly, ad hoc committee on national flag, that was headed by Rajendra Prasad. They will confuse you with Jawaharlal Nehru, B.R. Ambedkar, any other personality. So you have to remember an ad hoc committee on national flag was presided by Rajendra Prasad. Then your fundamental duty, part 4A 51A specifies that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and respects its ideal institutions, the national flag and national anthem. Question can be, one of the fundamental duties of our Constitution, considers duty of every citizen of India to respect which of the following ideals and institutions? Parliament of India, national emblem of India, national flag of India. Like this a question can be given to you. So what are the two symbols that have been mentioned in the fundamental duty? It is national flag and national emblem. फिर आप बोलोगे parliament को भी तो abide करना है ना? But such questions are which are literally mentioned in the Constitution. So what is mentioned? To be abided as part of fundamental duty, national emblem and national flag. So if this is violated, If this fundamental duty is violated, there are two acts which are protecting our national emblem and national flag. One is Emblems and Names Prevention of Improper Use Act 1950 and Prevention of Insult to National Honor Act 1971, under which a person can be booked. So what does it say? Emblems and Names Prevention of Improper Use Act 1950, that it is a prohibition against use for any trade, business, calling or profession in the title of any patent or trademark of design, any name or emblem specified in the schedule. That means our national emblem design cannot be traded or used by any entity, right? There is another act, Prevention of Insults to National Honor Act 1971. A candidate is disqualified to contest election to the parliament and state legislature for 6 years if he is booked under the offence of insulting national flag, Constitution of India and preventing the singing of national anthem. ये question भी आ सकता है. What all offences? National flag, insulting national flag, Constitution of India and preventing the singing of national anthem. Right? A practice type question. The government can just tell them these laws are meant for Indian citizens and cannot be applied. Huh? Not on the foreign soil. The measure or the route will be different. ठीक है? हाँ, इसलिए मैं बोल रही हूँ कि जो भी legalities हैं, that will be worked by the government and looked into by the government, but it's not easy to book anyone under an Indian law in any foreign country. हाँ. नहीं, ठीक है. Just see this practice question. In the context of recent Har Ghar Tiranga campaign launched by the government, consider the following statements regarding the flag code of India. The ratio of the length to the height of the flag shall be 3:2. The national flag should be made of hand-spun and hand-woven khadi bunting only. Third, the design of Ashok Chakra should be in black color with 24 equally spaced spokes. Not error, 2 and 3. 3 also because of black color only. No, polyester made cloth can also be used now, right? Okay, yeah, we have done this. Now coming to national anthem and national song. National anthem is Jan Gan Man, national song is Vande Mataram. Now why I made this in comparison? Again, to remember the facts more clearly. First of all, it was composed in Bengali by Rabindranath Tagore. It was composed in Sanskrit by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, right? Now its Hindi version was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 24 Jan 1950 after independence. And this song was part of novel, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's novel Anand Bhatt, which was written in 1882. National anthem was sung for the first time at the Calcutta session of 1911, right? National song has an equal status with Jan Gan Man, right? Whatever points I'm telling you, you have to highlight it and remember. The playing time or the full version, the playing time of the full version of national anthem is approximately 52 seconds. It can be played in a shorter version also, right? Then Rabindranath Tagore translated the national anthem from Bengali to English at Mandanpalle of Andhra Pradesh. This place, Mandanpalle, is important from Buddhism perspective also. It is an important Buddhism site as well, right? The first political occasion when national song was sung was 1896-7, which was presided, 1896, which was presided by Rahmatullah M. Sayani at the Congress session. Which was the Congress session here? Jan Gan Man, 1911. Here, 1896. ठीक है. Aurobindo Ghosh translated national song into English language. Right. National calendar, Shaka era, adopted on 22nd March 1957, along with Gregorian calendar. I will explain you what is Gregorian calendar, what is Shaka era, right? Which Vikram Samvat did we pass yesterday, 22nd? Which year? 2080. हाँ, ठीक है. Fine. Calendar Reform Committee, chaired by Meghnad Saha. So this Calendar Reform Committee, recommended for the new year to be started on 22nd March in normal year and on 21st March in leap year, right? Saka calendar era was again adopted by or recommended by Meghnad Saha committee, right? What is Gregorian calendar? So Gregorian calendar was developed as a correction to the Julian calendar introduced in October 1582. Now what is Julian calendar and what is this? So basically Gregorian calendar is named after Pope Gregory and is mostly used calendar in the world. Now this calendar determines the Earth's revolution around the Earth, around the Sun, and spaces between the leap years to make average year to be 365.2425 days long. So Indian calendar also makes use of Gregorian calendar, right? Now, there is a chapter in your India yearbook. Now, when you are doing this slide, you need not go through India yearbook chapter on this topic like national emblem, national anthem, national song, calendars, because I have included almost all important information here, right? So you are saved from reading that. Okay? I don't know how far UPSC can go to an extent of asking this, but I feel that it is relevant in today's context. You can get a pair-based question, you can get a question on such lines also, right? This question has already been asked, which of the following is the national aquatic animal of India by UPSC? So it is Ganges River dolphin, it is the national aquatic animal of India. Where is its habitat? Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna river system. Then Karnfuli, Sangu river system of Nepal, India and Bangladesh. Why is Ganges dolphin national aquatic animal of India? Because India wants to save it from extinction, right? Yesterday interview में questions आते हैं, googly type. Why do you think Ganges dolphin, national aquatic animal of India, is being adopted as the national aquatic animal of India? To save it from extinction. Right? Then rupee is again our national element symbol or national symbol. Its new sign has been recently adopted, right? It was adopted in 2010. It is conceptualized and designed by Uday Kumar, who is from IIT Bombay, right? Then state emblem of India. Again, an important topic, controversies surrounding the design and face of the state emblem, right? So basically, our state emblem has been inspired by the lion capital of modern Emperor Ashok, right? What is the difference between the lion capital and the state emblem we have adopted? There are few design changes which we have done. So you need to be clear from prelims perspective what all we have taken from the state emblem of or the lion capital of Ashok, right? Kya? हाँ, रुपया. We'll do coinage, then I'll explain coinage history. क्या? What is your question? हाँ, होता तो वो शेर ही है ना. वो उसका बताती हूँ. Wait. We've just started the state emblem of India. First of all, what you should know is that what does it signify? So it signifies the Dharm Chakra Parivartan. What is Dharm Chakra Parivartan? A stage of enlightenment. ठीक है? Okay, fine. Then there are again certain personality names which you should remember. First of all, this emblem was created by the students of Nandlal Bose, right? So this is again important which you need to remember, specifically Dinanath Bhargav, right? Now this is again an interview and mains question. जैसे आप मतलब I don't know how many of you try to learn things from question perspective, but sometimes, you know, when you see this content in from prelims perspective, you will not be able to understand what we have to do. Basically, this is how again mains and interview questions are framed, right? So why did the Constituent Assembly embrace the Sarnath pillar as national emblem, right? So that's how you have to make use of the content. Now coming to the animals, कौन से animals हैं? Elephant, bull, horse, lion. Now these animals signify a certain stage of Buddha's life. Elephant represents the conception of Prince Siddhartha, right? Bull represents his youth. Horse represents renouncing his royal life, so he took horse to renounce his life. Lion is the depiction of attaining enlightenment, right? Dharm Chakra, wheel of law, 24 spokes, which we have adopted again from Ashok pillar or state emblem, right? Now this controversy again you can do from mains perspective. I'm not going into it. Basically it's just that the kind of, you know, face which we have made or designed in the new parliament building is different from what is the state emblem or the lion looking at Ashoka's capital, right? So this face represents more anger, right? Here they are considering that the teeth are not displayed, so he is not that full of anguish, but more calm and composed. That's what the critiques are saying, right? Now coming to design and other aspects of prelim. First of all, students of Nandlal Bose, Dinanath Bhargav is credited more for designing our national emblem, right? Now this is a crowning element. This we have not taken, right? Have we taken this lotus bell shaped, inverted lotus bell shape? Have we taken? No, right? So these are two different points which we have to note that we have not taken from the modern capital, right? This we have done. Yes, this was a UPSC question. The national motto of India, Satyamev Jayate, inscribed below the national emblem of India, is taken from Mundak Upanishad, right? Which of the following, so this is a prelims practice type question, which of the following symbols are visible on national emblem of India? Satyamev Jayate, bull, tiger, elephant, galloping horse, lion. ये करो आप solve. All? 1 2 3 4 5 6 नहीं है, टाइगर नहीं है. हाँ ठीक है, टाइगर नहीं है. Fine. The modern pillar capital is popularly known as lion capital, and also our national emblem symbolizes which life event of Buddha? पक्का? Which are the four major events of Buddha's life? Mahabhinishkraman. What is this? When he leaves his house on horse. Nirvana is enlightenment, symbol Bodhi tree. Dharm Chakra Parivartan, wheel, first sermon or the first teaching. Mahaparinirvan is Buddha's death, symbolized by stoop, right? Now just try to understand this topic through this question. The Sarnath land capital originally had following parts. Which of the above are part of national emblem of India? Four lions, a drum on the bell base with four lions, lotus bell base, a shaft, a crowning dharma chakra. Eliminate this, eliminate this, eliminate this. What is a shaft? Shaft is a pillar. Okay, lotus bell base I had shown you already. Crowning dharma chakra is the crown at the back, right? So when you eliminate 1, 2 and 4, so 4 is here, 4 is here. Sorry. Oh, sorry, 5. So 5 you eliminate 1, you eliminate a drum on the bell base with 4. Lotus bell base, yes, 2. So 3 and 4 is the answer, right? Then coming to numismatic history of India. A very important topic for various reasons. First, lot of controversy regarding the images of gods and goddesses on Indian rupee note and coins. So that means, you know, coins of different dynasties who have, you know, displayed the images of Hindu gods and goddesses can be asked. Otherwise also, if they are not asking, you know, coins having the images of you know, gods and goddesses, they can otherwise also ask you about different aspects of coinage history. So from this perspective, we have to do the coinage history of India from the Indian history perspective. Now coming to the dynamic aspects of coinage and currency, who designs it, who regulates it, right? So basically it's the RBI and the central government who have the power to design the currency notes in India, right? Again, if any change is to be done, it's it has to be approved by both RBI and the government, right? And how is this process of changing the currency note done? There is a department in RBI called the Department of Currency Management, which works on the design of the currency notes. It submits a design to the RBI and then RBI sends it for the recommendation of the central government. And finally the central government gives its approval, right? So these are some of the news which was coming, right? There is another news item which I got, which is important again. So basically there was a specimen which is in British Museum repository. There is a document which says that it is Muhammad Gauri who issued coins with goddess Lakshmi after defeating Prithviraj Chauhan in the Battle of Tarain in 1192, right? So basically Muhammad Gauri is associated with issuing of coins having images of goddess Lakshmi after the Battle of Tarain, right? So this is again important document which we have received, right? That means Delhi Sultanate coins also you need to prepare, right? There is an act called Coinage Act of 2011 or 2011 which governs the responsibility of coinage, and it vests this responsibility of coinage to the government of India, right? Coins are issued by under the RBI Act, right? Now coming to the most important again aspect of coinage history. First of all, I would like to start with this. So basically when your coinage history starts, you have to first track the history from ancient times. So when you talk about the Stone Age, there was no coinage. There was only barter system. When you talk about the Harappans also, there was barter system or exchange, but there was extensive trade and there were seals, right? But we do not know the purpose of the seals that were there in the Harappan civilization. Then comes Rig Vedic age. So in Rig Vedic age, or Vedic age, there were certain terms that were used that may also be linked with coinage, like Nishka, Satman, etc. Hiranyapind, right? So these were certain terms that were used for coinage. Nishka, Suvan, Shatman, Pada. So these terms can be asked, right? But when we talk about the earliest evidence of weight of currency, right? So the earliest evidence of standard weight of coins was measured through these seeds that were called as rati seeds or gunja berry seeds, standard weight of coins. After that, your punch marked coins and different weights used to come in the Mahajanpad times and Mauryan phase, right? So first of all, starting from Vedic times, where we have reference or literary texts mentioning the terms related to coinage, you have to remember these terms. So for example, gold and silver coins, Satman and Krishnala, right? Whether they were coins or mediums of exchange, we don't know, but that's what certain historians claim, right? Then comes your punch marked coins. In the Mahajanpad period, what are punch marked coins? So punch marked coins are those which are punched, right? They are like this, they have certain symbols, okay? So these coins also were in different, for different purposes. For example, in Takshila Gandhar type of coins, they had different measurement, right? Magadhan type had, let's say, lightweight, standard and multiple punches. So if a statement is given to you that Mauryan coins were having uniform weight or uniform design, it will be wrong. So different regions during Mahajanpad age and Magadhan times, there were different weight structures and punch mark coins were also numbers were also different, right? So that's how you will be remembering this. Whether these coins had any legend or a story written on them, there is no reference, right? Then you have a different stage of coins. These are cast copper coins, uninscribed coins. What do you mean by uninscribed? Nothing was inscribed on it, right? Basically in the 3rd and the 2nd century BC, these were inscribed die struck coins. So one is punch mark coins. From punch mark we come to die struck cast coins, right? Then comes your die से struck होते हैं, मतलब any pigment, उससे they are stamped, not stamped but they are carved, struck. They are not punched but they are struck like this. There are certain shapes being made, die struck coins. Then we come to Indo-Greek phase or Kushans. So this is again an important phase where through images you can learn certain facts. So for example, there is a silver coin, there is a portrait of king. That means what will be the features of this phase? Silver coins, portrait of kings, etc. Then another important feature was that Indo-Greeks issued bilingual and biscript coins. There were religious symbols also on their coins. So when you are downloading these slides, you just have to highlight it. Apart from this, there is an infographic given to you in your content. You can just add certain points from this content, extra content, right? If you can see, there is a infographic given on the coinage history of India. You can add certain content from here in that infographic, right? So similarly, Kushans were the first dynasty of the subcontinent to mint large quantities of gold coins, but their silver coins were rare, right? So again, you just take certain facts from here. Then what were pre-Satvana coinage look like? So mainly Satvanas issued copper coins, less of gold, right? Silver coins, right? Then Chola, Chera, Pandya, Sangam age kingdoms, they had, or there were many coins which look like punch mark coins, right, of South India. So there was a fish. Fish is a symbol of which Sangam dynasty? Pandyas. So there were certain royal symbols or emblem inscribed on the coins, right? Gupta kings, very important with respect to coinage history, dinaras. So their gold coins were called as dinaras, right? Again, you can see the themes. So a Gupta ruler playing veena, right? Again, they have gods and goddesses on their coins, reverse and obverse on their coins, right? Reverse and obverse means on one side one image and on the other, right? हाँ, purest gold, उसका तो कोई क्या ही बता सकता है what is pure, but yes. Okay. So similarly, you know, just look at this content and take the point. This is not that important, post Satavahanas, but Guptas is important. Kushans, Indo-Greeks are important. Vijayanagar coins are important. You can just note down very quickly whatever dynasty names I am taking up. Vedic coins, Mauryan, Mahajanpad, Panchmark coins are important. Kushans and Indo-Greek phase is important. Gupta coins are important. Delhi Sultanate coins are important. Vijayanagar kings are important, or Vijayanagar coinage system is important. इतना भी कर लोगे बहुत बड़ी बात है. Okay, so this was the infographic I was talking about. That you know, the infographic is informative in itself also. But still, if you get certain points, like when you talk about the Panchmark coins of Mahajanpad era, there is no mention of, you know, uniformity or non-uniformity of the coins. That you can take it from the slide, right? Similarly, Indo-Greeks, whatever information is given is sufficient, right? Kushans, Satavahanas, Western Kshatrapas. Now here, you know, I have given you again extra information. So for example, according to the historians, Kushans who hail from Central Asian region were the first to use image of goddess Lakshmi on their coins, right? Were the first ones. Okay. So this is important. Even Kushan coinage drew inspiration from mythology. So these aspects are important because gods and goddesses on coins is being talked about, right? Gupta coinage. So you can just go through it and take the facts. Coming to Delhi Sultanate. So Muhammad Tughlaq decided to introduce a bronze coin which was to have the same value as silver tanka. So Muhammad Tughlaq had an experiment, token currency experiment, right? So that you have to revise. So did he issue gold coins? Yes, he issued gold coins in very large number. Uske baad he issued or did his token currency experiment, right? These are again type of questions. Rupiah, Tanka and Jeetal, Fundamentara. So basically Fundamentara are coins issued by Harihar of Vijayanagar dynasty. Tanka and Jeetal, your Iltutmish, right? Rupiah, Sher Shah, Suri, right? As I told you, Vijayanagar Empire coinage is also important. So basically during Vijayanagar period, gold, copper coins were more than silver coins, right? Important aspect of again Vijayanagar coinage is reverse and obverse. So the legends on the reverse and the obverse was reserved for gods and goddesses. So again that means gods and goddesses was one of the themes that was also used by Vijayanagar kings, right? Then their coins varied in their weights in terms of the metal used. Varaha was the chief gold coin of Vijayanagar dynasty. Two terms other than Varaha were Phanam and Tara. Phanam and Tara coins, Varaha again coin, right? Silver coins were called Tar or Tar, whatever you want to pronounce it as, right? As I told you that Vijayanagar kings also had images of gods and goddesses. Mughals, Mohar and Dam. Then Babur and Humayun issued silver coins called sharukis or dirhams. Again, these are terms which are important, right? That's about it. So during Akbar, Jahangir again, specifically during Akbar again, coins had Hindu deities. Shah Jahan issued gold and silver coins. Aurangzeb, yes, this is an important fact. So Aurangzeb, at the beginning of his rule, forbade the kalma being inscribed on the coin. What is kalma? Kalma are Islamic verses. So before Aurangzeb, kalmas or Islamic verses were on the coins. So he prohibited the use of kalma to be inscribed on the coins, right? That's it. It's too much, I know. There are many facts. What I'm giving it to you along with your PT365 material. But they are important. You will not get it anywhere else. Now coming to Panini code. It's 7:55. I think we should continue till 8:10 or 8:15. I have given you 2 breaks. Yes, your question. Kalma? Because it was a religious symbol. So he thought that if coins are on the floor and if someone steps on it, it will, hurt the religious sentiment. That's why he forbade or prohibited on the coins, right? Acha. Let's continue for some while, right? I think till 8:15 I'll continue. Now there are not very big topics. I'll just explain you how things are to be done again. Now Panini code. Panini code for prelims perspective specifically, you should know who's Panini. Panini is a grammarian. His book is Ashtadhyayi. First, very important, point. Secondly, why he is in news? Because recently an Indian has, decoded the Panini code. Now this decoding of Panini code has resulted into solving a, this rule of Panini which is used in grammar. Now whatever calculations or algorithm he has found out, now what on the basis of that calculation the computer or the software can very purely and surely come out with grammar rules according to Panini, right? What has been mentioned in Ashtadhyayi. So this is what at the max you should know about the current affairs perspective. Now coming to understanding what kind of logic he came or he changed. So there are certain prefixes and suffixes, right? This is, for example, bowl, e. So what he did was that there was a rule in grammar that which was to be first taken from left will be now seen from the right, and vice versa. So this kind of a change in certain calculation he has done, due to which now having pure grammar can be translated by the computers, right? If you want to see more on it, what actually he has decoded, this is a YouTube link, right? Just for fun. That's about it in Panini Ashtadhyayi. ठीक है? इससे ज़्यादा नहीं करना है इसमें. Now coming to intangible cultural heritage. This is important to an extent, again more for interview, but in prelims also sometimes, from these things statements can be asked because they are more relatable. So first of all, you should know that if any intangible cultural heritage is to be sent for nomination, how it is sent. So there is a committee of 24 members which selects this heritage under this list. So India has been elected, as is elected to this intergovernmental committee of 24 members who selects, this intangible cultural heritage. So that's why this is in news. Earlier, India was also elected to UNESCO's World Heritage Committee. So India had been a member of World Heritage Committee, and India has also been recently elected under the Committee for Convention for Safeguarding Intangible Cultural Heritage, right? So this is one thing. Then there are 14 Indian elements on the Indian Cultural Heritage List or Intangible Cultural Heritage List. Sometimes this number can also be asked. So it's 14. They can give you more than 20 intangible cultural heritage has been inscribed on the UNESCO's list. So it is wrong. It's 14, right? The recent one being Durga Puja of West Bengal. Now you have to prepare this. How you have to prepare this? For example, Mudiyettu of Kerala. Whether it is a dance, whether it is a drama, whether it is a theatre, whether it is a festival, at least know the nature of the heritage. Similarly, Chau dance. So Chau dance from Saraikela, Purulia, Mayurbhanj has been inscribed in the Intangible Cultural Heritage List. Sankirtan of Manipur, right? All these items you have to prepare. UNESCO World Heritage List I have already told you, as well as Intangible Cultural Heritage List you have to prepare. Now what is your cost benefit analysis that you have to look into? At least you can expect one question every alternate year on this topic, right? It's not only the inscribed list. I told you nominated list में से भी question आते हैं, जैसे कलमकारी has been asked, ठीक है? Now coming to Swadesh Darshan scheme. Swadesh Darshan scheme basically 2.0 is the upgrade version of 2014-15 Swadesh Darshan scheme. I have already told you in the first class, directly scheme-based questions are not asked, but they are covered indirectly, right? Now, what is this Swadesh Darshan scheme 2.0 all about? It has enhanced more employability and tourism in India through selecting certain circuits or devising certain circuits. Now, there are 15. Till date, there have been 15 theme-based circuits under this scheme. Now, those 15 theme-based circuits you can't prepare, but within those theme-based circuits, you have to prepare Buddhist circuit, you have to prepare Sufi circuit, you have to prepare Tirthankar circuit, you have to prepare wildlife circuit. I'm talking about from geography and environment perspective also, right? Himalayan perspective, Himalayan circuit, Northeast circuit. This is in my opinion are important, otherwise they can ask you anything, right? That is not part of this, right? There is a Prashad scheme also. These are the religious cities or sites in 25 states. I told you that there has already been a question on Omkareshwar and Amarkantak. So, you know, like this, you can pick, they can pick any site and ask you that which region or physiographic division they belong to. What I am doing is I am mentioning the sites for you, right? Certain sites which you find that they are important, for example, Puri, Kanchipuram, Gangotri, Yamunotri, they are in news, right? So you can just see what all else is there in it, right? So these are the kind of questions which can come. These are pilgrimage sites, and this is how questions come. Similarly, you can pick these sites and look for their physiographic division. Specifically Gangotri, Yamunotri, you need to know more about it because of Uttarakhand as well. These are other important government schemes. Hriday, Adopt a Heritage, which you have to look into. I'm again mentioning Hriday and Adopt a Heritage, rest you can skip. Obviously Swadesh Darshan you will do and Prasad you will do. Apart from that, you can do Adopt a Heritage and Hriday. Monasteries, very, very important. Either you do it from Adopt a Heritage scheme document, or you do it otherwise whatever they are in news, or whichever monastery is in news. These are the Buddhist circuit locations, just for the information. Yes, the UPSC does ask questions on issues or controversies or sports which are in news or locations which are in news. So animal sports you are talking about, na? हाँ. So what they can ask is जैसे जलीकट्टू, Kambala, so like these, those you can remember which are in news or which are coming in the editorials, etc. I feel that your one of the test series may cover those aspects, so they can be covered from there. You may find in some or the other test series questions, those type of questions you prepare from there only, right? Geographical indication tag. Isme I don't have to teach many things, but yes, there are certain things which I would like to bring to your notice apart from what has been given. So this you only have to learn. Ladakh mein which product has been given GI tag to, right? Or in Maharashtra, which GI tag, which product has been given GI tag to. This you all have to remember by yourself. But there are certain things in GI tag in the conceptual framework which you need to know. First of all, how many GI tags have been given to by India to its products? It's more than 400. Either remember this range, 400 to 450, at least. You should have certain range in your mind, right? Which are the maximum states receiving or granting GI tags? Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, UP, Kerala, right? Then what is this GI tag all about? Geographical indication tag is a tag given to a commodity or a product which is specified or native or niche to that region, right? Now this GI tag is governed in the world or in the global level by WTO under TRIPS agreement. What is this TRIPS agreement all about? Trade related aspects of intellectual property right? In India, because India is a member of WTO and comply with TRIPS agreement, has come up with two legislations which govern the GI tag. One is Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999, and the other one is Geographical Indication of Goods Regulation and Protection Rules 2002, right? What is the mechanism to give GI tag? There is a post called Registrar of Geographical Indications. It is the Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks, under which department and ministry? Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, under which ministry? Ministry of Commerce, right? So GI tag registry has all India jurisdiction. Now coming to trade related aspects of intellectual property, right? Now what is intellectual property per se? Intellectual property refers to the creations of the mind, like inventions, literary and artistic work, painting, design, symbols, names, which can be used in commerce or exchange. It is protected by law. What all are types of intellectual property? Patent, copyright, trademark. There has been a question asked by UPSC on the difference between them, right? So whenever your environment or SNT class will be there, I think these things will be cleared. Hai? So for how many years this GI tag is valid? 10 years. Can it be renewed? Yes, it can be renewed, right? This was a question asked by UPSC in 2015 on GI tag. I just wanted to show you the question. Kaise question aate hain? Which of the following have been accorded GI status? Banaras brocade saris, Rajasthani dal bati churma, Tirupati laddu, right? So because this question was asked in 2015, there was a news in 2014 that Tirupati laddu gets GI tag. But if any state is asking for a GI tag for long, can also be clubbed and then confused. Because at that point of time, Rajasthani dal bati churma was also being demanded to be given GI tag. Okay. So like this, any GI tag is in news, you have to first prioritize that from prelims perspective, right? So your content has given you the list of recent GI tags which you have to remember. हाँ एक ही बारी आया. So that's what I'm saying, that you have to weigh your own strengths and weaknesses. Can you remember all of this for a question? See, if you ask me, don't skip it altogether. Through questions, try to learn and remember whatever is possible, right? Through questions. गमोसा भी कर सकते हो. White onion, tandoor, red gram. नाम से ही लग रहा है. Apricot भी पता ही है. So like this, you can just remember. Any tribe which is associated with GI tag is also to be remembered, apart from what kind of product it is and from which state, huh? अभी बहुत सारी ट्राइब्स भी न्यूज़ में है इन योर कंटेंट, सो ट्राइब्स पे भी एक ही क्वेश्चन आता है. नाउ कमिंग टू बलि यात्रा. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस बलि यात्रा और बलि? इट्स बेसिकली ओडिशा's largest fair, and Bali Yatra is also considered to be one of the country's largest open fair. What is open fair? Kind of a mela, right? Now this Bali has, or fair has, historical roots also associated. So for example, there are evidences found in Kaling establishing link between Bali already happening at that point of time, right? So what you can do is that whatever has been given as, content for Kaling Empire, because that ruled in Orissa, as your content. Otherwise there is no end, right? Kalinga is also famous for, is associated with Ashok. Kaling War. New Year map of India. I really pity you. तरस आता है, मतलब I pity you, because there is lot of information given and then there is an urge to remember everything, right? See, whenever you come across any newspaper or any of your friend, just telling you that, today there is Gudi Padwa in our place, that's how you remember it. Otherwise, if you will emphasize on remembering everything, it's difficult. Festival in news. Yes. Festival in news, state, tribe, that's it. Don't, ignore these aspects. Festival pe bhi there has been a question. Tribes pe bhi on GI tag also there has been a question. So it's not as if you will, just ignore it. Whatever is possible through questions or through interactions, just try to remember. Don't try to read everything and remember. Huh? Kantara movie is important. Usse related, there are aspects which are important, which I feel you should give Abhyas test 1 to see what challenge you get or what challenges you face while, attempting that test, because, usually Abhyas and open tests are framed to give you a UPSC-like experience, right? And I don't know how many of you have attempted as of now open test or have seen open test, but they are very much like UPSC pattern. When I say UPSC pattern, what is the pattern of UPSC? How many of you are there in the class who has just given the paper for the sake of it, for the experience of it? No one? Not Abhyas, UPSC paper. पढ़ के दिया था? So what did you feel about the UPSC paper? पढ़कर भी कुछ आता है समझ में कि कहाँ से आया? No. So just with that mindset, try to give full-length tests, Abhyas, open tests, wherever you get the opportunity to, again, the kind of things which I told you to, churn your mind to and apply logic, that's what you have to do. ठीक है, fine. I am just seeing what all is left. खत्म ही हो गया. It's just maximum 5 minutes. Let me complete it ना. इसमें कुछ ज़्यादा करना नहीं है. Let me complete it. Among the prizes and awards, Nobel Prize is important, and information regarding it. So besides what has been given in your content, that Nobel Prize for Peace has been received by this organization or literature by this author, there are certain GK facts associated with Nobel Prize. And what are they? In which all fields Nobel Prize is given? 6 fields. Again, this number is being given by UPSC as the tough element in their statements. 6 fields. Which are those fields? Physics, chemistry, physiology or medicine, literature, economic sciences and peace. Now this Nobel Prize is, or the reward for the Nobel Prize or the money from the Nobel Prize is coming out of the will of Alfred Nobel, who's the creator of Nobel Prize. Will se hi aa raha hai. There is only one prize which is not listed in the Alfred Nobel's will, and that is economics, right? So this prize for this is not coming out of his will. That's what I'm trying to tell, right? Then all prizes can be conferred to individuals except for Peace Prize, which is conferred to an institution or organization. These are again GK facts which may come handy to you, right? Self-nominations are not allowed in Nobel Prize. Individual cannot be nominated after his death, but a winner who dies before receiving the award can receive or can be given award to, right? Nobel Prizes are independent of the state. First Indian Nobel laureate, Rabindranath Tagore for literature. First Indian women Nobel laureate, Mother Teresa for peace in 1979, right? After that, Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development is important. Which organization has received it? Pratham. Pratham is a NGO related or in working the field of education. ठीक है? Thomas Cup किसके लिए है? Badminton के लिए. So certain again such type of information can also be asked by UPSC, right? This was a UPSC question in 2015. Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development. That is why I highlighted that this award is important. So in this year, it was given to ISRO, and for this year, it has been given to Pratham, right? Tribes in news. I've told you that state and tribes and what they are famous for can be asked by UPSC. This is a type of question which can be practiced. Hattli tribes. So these all 3 types are in news, right? So you need to know about their state or region, right? Governance aspect with respect to scheduled tribes. How scheduled tribes are notified, who notifies it, who adds it, who removes it. They are all political and governance, governance dimensions which you should know. Now, how does this process of inclusion of scheduled tribe in the list started with? So the process starts with the recommendation from respective state governments. So first the state government starts this process of listing and nominating. Then it is sent to Tribal Affairs Ministry, which reviews and sends them to further to Registrar General of India for approval. 3 steps at the elementary stage. State sends its nomination to Tribal Affairs Ministry, and then it sends it to Registrar General of India for approval. After this step, it is followed by National Commission for Scheduled Tribe approval before the list is sent to the cabinet. Okay? So they can ask you the sequence, how this is done, or who all are involved in the listing of scheduled tribes, right? Then after it has been sent to the cabinet, the final decision rests with the president. Cabinet is the last stage or the president is the last stage? The inclusion of any community in the ST scheduled tribes comes into effect only after the president amends or assents to a bill amending the Constitution Order 1950. क्या क्या क्या? Either of them, Registrar General or National Commission. See, first of all, on the basis of certain criteria, only the state lists that these are the scheduled tribes in their state. So they are verified on the first instance only. It's not as if that they have, they are sitting with pen and paper and then listing, nee, this is right and this is wrong, they are backward, they are not. This is not done, right? So, what internally, politically, how this is done, it's not for prelims as such, but this is what you need to remember, the steps. Now, what does the Constitution specifically specifies? So, Constitution does not specify any caste or tribes which are to be called scheduled caste or scheduled tribe. Again, straight away statement can be written like this. It leaves it to whom? The President to decide and specify what caste or tribes in each state and UT are to be treated as scheduled caste or scheduled tribe. Okay? That's why the list of scheduled tribes or scheduled caste vary from state to state. In the case of state, the President issues the notification after consulting the governor of the state to include certain people or group of communities. But any inclusion or exclusion in the list is done by the Parliament. So let's do this question to simplify it further. Which of the following has the authority to add or exclude a community from the list of scheduled tribes specified in the notification? It's the Parliament, right? Who has the power to specify the scheduled tribes in the state? President along with governor, right? So that's how you need to clear these concepts with respect to scheduled tribes. Okay? Chapekar brother case. This is not there. Who was the Governor General? Earl of Elgin. Okay? Chapekar brother case, when you will revise your modern Indian history, just do it from here. Right? Again, this is a part of revolutionary nationalism. This is what you can practice. Lord Wellesley, assassination of W.C. Rand. Lord Reading, Kakori train dacoity. Lord Linlithgow, Chauri Chaura. Lord Linlithgow came in 1940s. So Chauri Chaura cannot happen in that case. So like this, you can practice such questions. And these are the kind of questions which you can expect in revolutionary nationalism phase, right? Harijan Sevak Sangh belongs to Mahatma Gandhi. It's associated with taking up the campaign of untouchability and Harijan reforms, right? So this Harijan Sevak Sangh was also known as servant of untouchable society, right? And this All India Untouchability League was later renamed as Harijan Sevak Sangh, right? So that's about it. Buddhism and Jainism is left. I have again told you that if someone feels that they need to revise it, they can come to the class because it is a static topic, right? And I would request that certain kind of brief knowledge you should have about Buddhism and Jainism. What I'll try to do is I will compile it for you in the form of handouts, as well as I'll try to explain certain concepts and important facts on the basis of which you can do that topic, right? It does not have that much of current context, but because of its relevance, the content has included it in the material, or the content team has included it. So we'll do it because it's there in the magazine, right? So all the best, guys. If you have any questions, please ask me in the updated class or Buddhism and Jainism class whenever we are conducting it, right?